on, Dash University? How we doing? We got some action-packed filled days for you and all your friends. If you guys are here with me and we're live, drop a 300 in the chat. Light me up a little bit, people. 300 in the chat. What's going on, everybody? How we doing? The Dash U. We gotta do like it's a football squad. The Dash U. Hit me with the GoPro. Let's see what's going on. What's going on? We got Isaac on the ones and twos. Carlos is in the house. Angel's in the house. Let's go side cam. What's going on, baby? Looking good from the side view. Let's go PMP real quick. Bang! I'm down here to the right. All right, awesome. Let's go front face. Guys, today we have something amazing for you guys. That was a nice little test, by the way, guys. I'm gonna throw that out there. Today we have a nice lesson plan for you guys, because I'm gonna talk to you guys and I'm gonna share my story with the exact blueprint that I took to grow my agency to 7 figures. Now that's something that you guys are interested. Can I get a 217 in the chat, please? 217 in the chat. 217 in the chat. Wake me up, people. 217 in the chat. What's going on? Angel, Becky, Damien, Angel, how we doing? All right, cool. Awesome, guys. So I want to talk to you guys about, first and foremost, sales in general, right? Because I know this month is all about prospecting, and you really can't do any sales, unfortunately, if you're not doing any prospecting. Does that make sense? Like, think about it. Like, how can you actually sell somebody that's not in your pipeline, right? And unfortunately, there's really not anything that's called like a one-call close. That's very unlikely, right? And that's like literally picking up the phone, calling somebody, and closing them on the spot, cold. They don't know who you are. They don't know what you do. Very, very, very unlikely. So the route that you guys want to take is to make sure that you actually have a sales pipeline and that you're prospecting leads and getting them into your sales pipeline. So does that make any sense, you guys? Can we get a 706 in the chat? Baby, 706 in the chat. Let's hit up. Let's get the whiteboard out. I'm gonna draw this out for you beautiful people. Awesome. Good. Let's go PMP real quick. All right, guys. So usually when you're talking about a sales pipeline, for most of you guys, if any of you guys have used any CRMs or anything like that, a standardized pipeline is going to look something very similar to this, right? And I'm going to get my drawing on. Bang. All right, guys. So basically what happens here is these are different stages within your sales cycle. Okay, so each stage is going to have an entry point. Usually, number 1 is going to be new lead. Now guys, for those of you guys watching, you can be setting up your pipeline in any different way that you want. You can completely customize your pipeline. But when we're talking about a sales pipeline, you want to make sure that the stages are in granular order, right? And in sequential order. So like I said, a new lead. Now what's a new lead? What does a new lead actually consist of? Hit me with the side cam, baby. Guys, a new lead is when you actually get somebody interested in a service or product and you put them inside. That's a new lead. Or if somebody is actually interested, maybe through a Facebook ad that you're running, and they fill out a form, that goes into new lead, okay? If you're prospecting and you're doing some cold calling and that person was interested in your services, that's a new lead, okay? There's many different ways that leads can come inside. So for those of you guys, some of you guys might be familiar with funnels, right? And what's a funnel, right? So a funnel, for the most part, is where you drive leads down the top of a funnel. So you're driving this person all the way down the funnel. And as you go through the funnel, at the end of the funnel, there's a golden nugget, which is called money. Okay? So when you're going down that path and you're getting people inside your funnel, you have to start at the top of the funnel. And guess what the top of the funnel is, guys? New lead. Does that make sense? So if you think about a funnel, a pipeline is the same thing as a funnel. It just is going sideways instead of down, right? So what we're going to focus on today is how to get people into here, okay? Because you can't make any sales if this is completely empty. You can't move anything over. There's nothing there. You're not going to make any money. You're not going to make any sales. You're going to end up broke, okay? So this is what you got to do. You got to get the leads in first, okay? Now, guys, if you're wondering what maybe the rest of a pipeline can look like, so we can have maybe a lead in, right? And then maybe we did, consultation. All right. So that meant you called the lead, okay? And the lead said, yeah, we'll do a consultation. You went out, you did a consultation. You will then take this lead, okay, and you're going to move them over into here. And now they're going to be in the consultation phase, right? Or maybe this can be scheduled consultation, right? So you get a new lead, and during that new lead phase, you schedule a time with them, okay? So you move them over, and you say, hey, I scheduled the consultation. This guy, and you can create, and in most pipelines and in most CRM systems, they'll have a way for you to actually create a deal activity, right? Which basically means, hey, I'm gonna call this guy at 2 p.m. EST on Monday, right? So I have a deal activity on that specific person in my pipeline. So I have a scheduled consultation Monday at 2 p.m. EST as an example, okay? Now what happens is on the next pipeline, you can actually say completed. Completed consultation. Consultation, right? Okay, and then you're going to move this lead again over into here. And now you're going to have a completed consultation, okay? So you see how you're further going in? And again, this can be like another 5 things. There can be one here that's like follow up, right? Whatever, that'll be right here. And then there'll be another line over here that basically says negotiations, right? I'm just giving you guys an example. So your pipeline can go any which way you want. But the most important thing in your pipeline is right here, is step number 1. Because you can't do anything without step number 1. So today, I'm going to walk you through the way that I filled up my pipeline for literally the last 10 years of running an agency. There's 3 things that I did. 1, 2, 3. It's not going to be confusing. I'm going to walk you guys through the process. I'm going to show you guys exactly what I did to get people inside of the first column in the pipeline. And then once they're in the first column in the pipeline, then they slowly start moving over. Okay? So let's get started. Let's get started, baby. I'm going to open up a new one here. All right, awesome, guys. So, like I said to you guys before, there's 3 things that I did that actually filled up my pipeline, okay? The first thing that I actually did, and I'm going in sequential order here, okay? So, step number 1, the first thing that I did when I started my agency, so let's put this in box number 1. And if you're starting your agency or you're struggling with getting clients, then this is what you should be doing first. You should not be doing number 2, and you should not be doing number 3. You should essentially start with number 1, because number 1 is the fastest way for you to literally go out right now and start getting people inside of your pipeline. And once you're in your pipeline, you go down that path and you start closing deals, right? So the first thing that I did was walk-ins. I would literally walk into businesses and start selling them services. And I'm going to share my story with you guys on exactly how I did that. I'm also going to be giving you guys materials on the booklet that I use, which is right here. Okay, so this is the actual booklet that I used when I was doing my walk-ins. This is my little presentation that I handed, and I'm going to go through that process with you in a second. But you guys are going to get a downloadable copy of this booklet so you can go on Fiverr and have somebody replicate it. But basically, that's what I used to actually do my walk-ins, okay? Then we have the second thing that I did, okay, which is number 2, cold calling. Okay? Now most of you guys probably already know what cold calling is. You're obviously picking the phone up and you're dialing and you're calling random people on the internet that you found, and asking them if they're interested in purchasing your services, right? It's a little bit harder to do. So I would say, once again, if you're starting out in your business, you start here with walk-ins, because when you're walking in, you're physically walking into a business and you're offering them, or you're giving them, or you're pinpointing a problem and you're giving them a solution for it, right? And I have a better way of doing that. I'm going to walk through that with you guys in a second, okay? And then the third box we have here, so number 3 is your call center. Okay? Now, call center usually leeches off cold calling, right? Because cold calling you need to do first, you need to perfect that method, because really, what is a call center? A call center is cold calling. It's just like a 10x version of it, right? That's all you're doing. You're just multiplying the amount of people that are calling, and then you're creating a call center out of it. But you can't create a call center without doing the cold calls and building the process here first. Okay, guys? So today, I'm going to go through each 3 of these monumental things that I've done to actually fill up my pipeline, grow my company to over 7 figures in recurring revenue twice, 2 companies, using this exact same process. Okay, I'm going to show you guys exactly how to do it, and this is what you should be doing if you're either starting your agency, in the process of you're building your agency, struggling getting new clients predictably. Like, these are the things that you should be doing. Now, guys, I do want to say a little disclaimer here, and I'm going to be real with you guys. Let's hit the side cam, because I want to make sure you get the burns on this one. No side cam, all right? Maybe the GoPro. Bang! All right, I'm just testing the waters here. What's going on, everybody? All right, let's go back. Let's go front view. I'm making sure those keys are working for you, Isaac. Guys, I'm going to say a little disclaimer here, and I'm going to be real with you, okay? And if you don't like it, you're going to have to jump off the webinar. This might not be for you. If you're scared to talk to people, these methods are not going to work for you. If you're scared to actually go out and do work, these methods, they're not going to work for you. If you're scared to walk into a business and speak to somebody, number 1 is not going to work. If you're scared to pick up the phone and dial, number 2 and 3 will not work for you. Okay? Moral of the story is you need to actually speak to people. You need to find the right way to speak to them, which we're going to discuss today, okay, which is part of the strategy here. Okay? And then you need to be getting those people inside of your pipeline and down your sales path, because if you can do that, then guess what, guys? You're going to have a successful business, because all businesses start with sales. But guess what? All sales start with prospecting, especially in the service-based industry. Okay, guys? So let's jump into number 1 really quick. What's going on? We got a little bit of a Facebook preview over here on the side. Facebook, I'm just throwing something out to you guys, man. We're on a live episode of Dash University, and unfortunately, you're not here with us. You got to get into Dash University, because we're doing private training just like this, which is going to teach you how to grow and scale your agency with extreme momentum, and you're going to love it, and you're going to love it, and you're going to love it. All right, good. So let's keep rolling. All right, so let's talk about the first thing really quick. Let's go walk-ins. Now, guys, some of you might be going down the path, and the reason, and by the way, I want to take one step back real quick. The reason why I said that there's 3 things, right? So there's your walk-ins, there's your cold calls, and then there's your actual call center, right? You can't do number 3 without 2, because you need to do cold calling before you do call center, okay? But then, if you're actually doing walk-ins, some of you guys, you're going to realize, especially if you live in like small areas where it's not like highly densified with people, where there's like 100,000 people in like a mile radius, you're going to run into issues with the walk-ins, right? So what happens? You do your walk-ins. Once you kill all the businesses in like an hour radius of you, then you can start doing cold calling and start expanding, okay? But guess what, guys? The gold, literally the gold, all the little nuggets, like the pile, the jackpot is sitting right in your neighborhood. Because guess what? You're local. It's a trust factor. People like working with local people. It's a known fact. Second, they might know who you are, especially if you're in a small town where everybody knows each other. You have a higher chance of closing and getting that person into your pipeline. okay? And the reason why people like working with people who are local and they trust them better is because if there's any issues, you're local. You're not in like 5 states away where they can never reach you or meet with you or any of that, right? So that's the most important thing that you want to focus on here, okay? So when you're doing walk-ins, you have a higher chance of closing. Like for me, when I was doing walk-ins, for every probably 100 prospects that I would contact and actually get into the pipeline, I would close like 5 to 10% of them. Okay, so think about it. You walk into 100 businesses. You know that 5 to 10 of those businesses are possibly going to pay you if you do these methods right. Okay, so walk-ins is your highest converter. It's the first thing that you should be doing if you're trying to grow your agency. Okay, if you're at an agency where you're like 40, 50 clients, okay, no problem. You don't have to do walk-ins. Okay. But guess what? Even at that point, we were doing walk-ins, so it really doesn't matter. It's up to you, okay? But then you can go like the cold calling route, where you're calling different states, right? And you're expanding your business, but you should start at a pinpoint on the map, and you work your way around that. You keep getting further out and further out and further out until you're targeting the nation, or until you're DashClicks and you're targeting the globe, and then that's a different story, because then that gets real cool. Okay, let's talk about walk-ins. All right, so with the walk-in process, it's pretty simple. This is kind of the path that I used to take when I was doing walk-ins. The first thing that I would focus on is a route. Okay, let me get this marker working. All right, so number one, the first thing you want to do is focus on a route. Okay, and you can get strategic about it, because when I was doing the whole walk-in thing, at first, literally, and I would recommend doing this, guys, before you even hit number one, just to test the waters. Just get in your car, get on your scooter, get on your bike, get on your GoPed, get on whatever means of get on the bus, train, whatever means of transportation you have. Get on it and go to a plaza. Okay, find the biggest plaza in your area and go there. Okay. One thing that you do not want to do is you want to eliminate the big box stores. You don't want to walk into McDonald's and ask them if they need SEO. It's not going to work. Okay, you don't want to walk into like a Publix or a BJ's or a Costco or anything like that and ask them if they need a PPC campaign. It's not going to work. Okay, what you need to focus on is the small businesses that are inside of that plaza. Your local salon, your local restaurant, mom and pop restaurant, freaking frying eggs in the morning, working hard. Those are the people that need you. Okay, you want to focus on maybe the barber shops, the nail salons, the massage parlors. Okay, you want to focus on these types of small companies that really need your help. Okay, you don't want to focus on the big boys, and you don't want to focus on the franchisees. You do not want to do that, because all you're doing is wasting your time, and time is money, and money will help you do a lot of cool stuff. So don't do it. Okay, first thing now you want to do, get in your car, park in a plaza, test the waters. Okay, I guarantee that once you start doing it, you're going to love it. Because the second that you pull the trigger and you start getting leads in your pipeline, and then you do it again the next day and you get more leads in the pipeline and more leads in the pipeline and more leads, right? So this is what would happen. I'm gonna go back to the sheet really quick. Let's go. Let's get, no, don't want you, I want you. All right, let's go here. So what I would do is literally, I remember when I started doing this, and you can actually use this as real metrics, right? So what you can do here is use these kind of metrics as like a rule of thumb, right? So I used to go out originally, and I used to walk into probably like around 50 businesses per day. Sometimes it was more, sometimes it was less, whatever the case may be. 50 is a good number. That means I stepped foot into 50 different businesses and spoke to 50 different people. Okay? Now out of that, I used to get on average of about 5 to 10 business cards per day. Okay? 5 to 10 business cards. You're like, Chad, why are you getting business cards? It's awkward. Like, what are you going to do with that? Nobody even uses business cards anymore, right? Yeah, I'm just getting their contact information. It's an easy way to quickly go in and pick up contact info, right? So I would get their business card information, and then I would use this tool. Way back in the day, it was like a reporting tool. It's very similar that we have to Insta Reports, right? And this is actually, you know, walking in, this was the booklet that I used, and I'm going to come a little bit closer here to the camera so we can see. This was in 2015. Hopefully we can get this, bang. So you see the date on there, April 27, 2015. Okay, so That's when I was doing my walk-ins. This is proof to you guys, okay? This is the booklet that I used to walk around with when I was doing my walk-ins. So when I was actually going and walking into a plaza, I had this in my hand. And guess what, guys? I was in a freaking t-shirt and jeans, and the jeans were ripped. So I'm just throwing that out there. So I was not professional. I didn't care at the time. I was a little boy running around trying to sell shit, okay? But this is what I would use, and it was super simple. All it was I printed a sample report, okay? I printed a sample report, which you guys can do if you're logged into your Insta Reports account, right? Just go to your DashClicks account, go to Insta Reports, and on the Insta Reports overview page, there's a little button, and I'm actually going to show you guys where it is because I don't want any excuses later. Like, Chad, I couldn't find the button, and that's the reason why my business is failing. Okay, I'm going to show you guys exactly where it is. Let's go PMP real quick. So you're going to log in, you're going to click on Agency Tools, okay, then you're going to click on Insta Reports, and you're going to click right here in the sub menu over here where it says View Sample Report. So we got Overview, My Insta Reports, Builder, Notification, Type of this training, bam, View Sample Report. You click on this, and guess what, guys? Then you click the print button, and you print it out, okay? You print out this report. Let's go front face. You print out this report, okay? And you put it on top. So the first section, which is basically this right here, the first, what is it, 5 or 6 pages? Now what's cool about Insta Reports is when you print this out, it's like 20 pages or something crazy like that, right? Depending on the report that you run. It's going to differentiate every time. But what I would do is, I would have the report with me, and you're probably wondering, like, why are you walking around with a spiral binder? Are you 12 years old? No, actually. Because when you walk around with a tangible item, what happens is people say yes a lot faster because they can physically see it and feel it, right? It makes the conversation a little bit different. So I would have that on the front, and then on the back end, I would have all of the different packages that I used to offer. Okay, I'm just going to show you guys. Now this is from 2015. We don't even offer half this shit anymore. I'm just giving you guys an example. Okay, now when I used to walk into places, I never used to show this. Okay, this was just there as a backup where if somebody was super interested, I literally whipped out the second side of it and I was like, all right, let's go. This is going to be a one call walk-in, or one walk-in, whatever you want to call it, because we're not calling. Something cool. You make it up and you'll message me after. Maybe we'll post it somewhere on Facebook. But the most important thing here is the report. Okay? So if anything, the easiest thing for you to do right now to get up and go make money is to literally go to your DashClicks account, click on the View Sample Report, open it up in a new page, print it out, go to like a local Office Depot, or even if you don't even care about doing all that, you know what? I'm going to tell you guys the things to do where you can literally do it right now. Print that shit out, staple it together, and start walking into businesses, okay? Now the strategy that I took to get these people filled up in my pipeline. Now keep in mind, guys, I got my new lead category here, okay? So new leads, I gotta get people in here. Well, how am I gonna do that? This is what I used to do. So I used to walk into businesses, and this is very simple. I want everybody to listen. I'm going to take a little sip of this monster because I'm going to energize for you because it's going to be crazy. Let me know when you're ready. Okay. So literally, you walk into businesses. Let me pick this up. Okay, we're back to business. You walk into businesses and you say, hey, my name is Chad. I'm from Social Agency. That's the name of my agency, right? And you walk in just like this. Like literally, I'm going to do it for you. Ready? I'm going to do it for you. Ready? Here we go. Oh, hey, Bobby. My name's Chad. I'm from Social Agency. And I run a local marketing agency right down the street on Sterling Road. We're literally probably about like 5 or 10 minutes for you down the road. We're a startup company. And what we're doing is to try to grow our agency and our business, we're going around the community and we're printing free reports just like this. This is actually what it looks like, right? And I wanted to see, I don't need anything from you. I don't need to take any of your time. If you just have a business card handy, what I can actually do is I can run this report for you. It's going to look just like this. It's about 20 pages. And whether you're the decision maker or whether maybe you're the marketing manager or the receptionist, it would be really cool to show your boss a report that's just like this. And then what I can do to go even further to help you guys out is this report actually pinpoints like every single issue that's wrong with your business and how to improve it from an online standpoint. So if it's something that you're interested in, you can go one of two routes. One, you can just take the report and fix it all yourself, which is totally cool. Or two, that's what we do. We offer services to help you fix stuff like this. But the report's totally complimentary. It's totally free. All I need is just a business card from you with your contact info, which is probably already on the business card. And then I'll go and I'll run the report for you guys. You guys don't have to worry about it. It'll take me a day or two. I'll get all the information for you, and then I'll email it to you, or I can come back here into the store if you guys want to go over it together. So do you have a business card, Bobby? Okay, that was the pitch. Now think about how many people. Now what did I do here? Okay, think about the mindset here real quick. What did I ask them for? Did I ask them to stop what they're doing in the middle of their business day and give me a half an hour of their time to go over a report that I'm gonna have to sit there and run in front of them and waste more of their time? No. I said, dude, give me a business card and I'll be out of here. I'll be out of here and I'll leave you alone. But it's the first touch point. It's the first little touch that somebody now knows who you are. Because that's the hardest thing about business, right? Is building relationships and getting people to know who you are and what you do. So now, you told them who you are. I said I was from social agency. I told them what I do. I said I was a marketing company. Okay. I told them where I was located so I can build that trust factor. I'm right down the street from you guys. I'm 10 minutes away. Okay. I built a little bit of like almost like a momentum with them from like a personal level and being transparent, saying, hey, I'm a startup company. I'm not a big company. We're starting up and we're doing this for the neighborhood. Okay. I'm building that like personal relationship with them because I'm vulnerable. I'm being vulnerable with them, right? And I'm doing all of that within like a 30-second to a 60-second pitch. How long was that pitch? Like 60 seconds, right? And then all I'm doing is I'm asking them for one thing, which is a small thing, which is probably right there in front of you. They don't even need to do anything because all these business owners, their business cards are right there when you walk in. So you say, oh, is this your business card? This is all I need. And you just check if the information is there. And guess what, guys? What's on a business card? Let's go P&P real quick. What's on a business card, guys? What do you need to run an Insta report, right? Because you're going to be using Insta reports for this. So if I go to Insta reports and I go to Builder, awesome. And let's just say you don't even need a freaking anything else because Insta reports is so badass that all you need to do is just type in the business name and it'll automatically pre-fill all the information for you, right? So if I type in Pet Boys, I gotta refresh the page because I hit the manual. All right, I go here, Pet Boys. I don't even know if that's how you spell it. Pet Boys Auto Parts, cool. I'll click that. And then bam, it fills out the whole thing for me. So really, like, what do I need here? I don't even need anything, okay? All you really need to make sure that you have is their business name, an email address of the person that you're gonna send the report to, and then their first and last name. Everything else is on their business card. Our business card is gonna have their phone number, it's gonna have their business name, it's gonna have their address, right? It's gonna have their website. It's gonna have everything from their website. You can pull up their Facebook page because everybody's website has a little Facebook icon on it. We're in 2020. And if they don't, then they sure as hell need your services, right? So that's all we used to do. We used to just go and we used to get, okay, how many business cards can I pick up today? Okay, and we used to pick up about 5 to 10 business cards per day. Okay, and then I used to go there, okay, and I used to go back here to the pipeline. And I used to start dumping in all these leads. I used to get home at the end of the day, all the way at the end of the day, and then I used to spend 1 hour, literally 1 hour, okay? And I used to start putting everybody into the first stage of my pipeline, which is a new lead, okay? I went out and I did my due diligence. I spoke to people. I'm getting them into the first stage of the pipeline. And what I used to do is run the report, and then I used to put the link to the report or the download of the PDF and attach it inside of each contact record. So the next day when I woke up, guess what I had? I just generated myself 5 to 10 fire leads per day, okay? Because I spoke to them. I was in their business. They know who I am. They know that I run this shit. They know that I run the block, okay? That's how you gotta make it seem. So it's very simple. And the problem with agencies and the problem with businesses and the reason why most businesses fail is because you make shit confusing for no damn reason, okay? When in reality, all you had to do is just log in to your Pipedrive account or your CRM account, whatever the CRM you're using. Go out, get business cards, speak to people, and dump them right in here into the first stage of your pipeline. Guys, does that make any sense? Can I get a yes in the chat? Can I get a quick yes in the chat? Yes, Y-E-S in the chat. Yes in the chat. Amazing. This is great. Give me 1 sec, guys. I want to pull this. I didn't realize that my chat wasn't open here on the side. Awesome. Step number 1, get in your car. Walk in, get business cards, go to Insta Reports, create the report, takes 30 seconds, go into your Pipedrive account, and I use Pipedrive, so I'll recommend it. It's like 12 bucks a month for it. You can even get a free account, I think you might be able to, or a free 30-day trial, so you can try this without even spending the $12, okay? You go right in here, and you start dumping in all your leads. Okay, then the next day, you call every single one of these people. You go down the list, you call every single one of these people that you had. You go down your list and you start, you're like, okay, Bobby answered the phone and I scheduled my call. And what I would do is I would call and I would say, hey, it's Chad. I was the guy who randomly walked into your business. I used to crack a joke. I was the guy who used to randomly walk into your business yesterday. I was the guy who held a little weird spiral bundle. Yeah, yeah, that's me. Yeah, Bobby, that's me. So I actually went ahead and I took the time to run the report for you, and I have it in front of me. I was wondering if you have time now, or if we can schedule a call at a more convenient time for yourself where we can go over the report. Bobby, I found a lot of stuff about your business that you really should be aware of here, okay? You throw a little scarcity in there to make sure they get on the call with you, right? Like you're hiding like the world from them and they need to like see what's happening here, right? You build a little scarcity in there, okay? And then they're like, okay, well, I can't do it right now because I'm working on flipping some pizzas, but I can probably do it tomorrow at 3 p.m. You're like, well, shit, Bobby, you got yourself a deal, okay? I'm going to take Bobby and I'm going to move him over into the scheduled consultation phase, and I'm going to create a new activity here to call Bobby tomorrow at 2 p.m. And if I even want to get more gangster, I will open up a new tab. I will go to my free Calendly account and I will put and schedule a call with Bobby's information as if he was doing it, so that way Bobby can get an email confirmation and a reminder 24 hours, 1 hour and 10 minutes before the call. He's gonna get 3 reminders by text message and by email, so I'm gonna hit him in both places to make sure that he shows up on this damn scheduled call, because this shit is important. He's got to see this shit. He's got to see this shit, right? And then I would do that, and then I would do all my consultations. Now guys, keep in mind, you're not gonna close every deal. It's impossible. You're never gonna have a 100% conversion rate, okay? But it's all about a numbers game, okay? And I'm not gonna go into numbers too much right now because Angel on the next masterclass is gonna blow your freaking mind with the numbers games. I'm not even gonna go into it right now. He's got some fire set up for you, okay? But guys, like if you focus, like if you can do 5 consultations a day, or even every other day or 3 times a week, will you set it up as your consultations day, okay? If you can do that, then all you're doing is you're building your numbers up. And it's a numbers game. The more you do, the more you sell, the more money you make, right? So then you go out and you do that and you do 5 consultations, okay? And let's say you do 5 consultations, 3, 4, 5. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, this guy, Bobby, said hell nah. Bobby Gina said no. Babita said no. Bobby Jane said no. But Mary Jane said yes. Okay? So all we're going to do is we're going to push them over into the next thing here. And we actually completed the call. Bang. Call completed. But he didn't pull up the trigger, so he's in the completed tab. Okay? And then what you're going to do is you're going to play the follow-up game. Because this guy had to speak to his wife, then his wife had to speak to his daughter, then his daughter had to speak to the person that was out of the country to make sure that the funds are available, and then wire the funds back into the bank account to pay you the $499 for your marketing services so you can get started this month. Okay? So that's what's going to happen. That's most likely the exact case, pinpointing the trajectory of what's going to happen during this pipeline stage and this pipeline stage. But guess what? I'm not going to let Bobby off. I'm going to keep calling. I'm going to keep calling you. and I'm gonna get you in the follow-up stage. I followed up with you, Bobby. And once they're in the follow-up stage, this is my rule, okay? I got one of two things that are gonna happen here. If you haven't seen any of my webinars, you already know how I roll. One, you are going to tell me to fuck off. Or two, you're gonna buy my shit. Those are the only two options I have the second that you get into my follow-up stage, okay? That's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna keep calling you every single day. I'm gonna keep following up with you because guess what, guys? I did this shit for years, and there were people that would pull the trigger like a year later. I spoke to them and I would follow up with them every day. And then I started spreading it out every week. And then I would follow up with them once a month, right? And they would, like 9 months later or 12 months later, like, oh, my wife finally transferred me the funds. We've cashed out her 401k. And now I can afford to do this. So I'm going to get started. Go ahead and send over that contract. So what happens, guys, is it becomes a numbers game, right? You keep having more of these. You keep just dumping more people in here, okay? And then they just keep moving on over. And they keep moving on over and moving on over and moving on over, right? And you're just swinging people down your pipeline. That's all you're doing, is you're just filling up your pipeline and you're going across, okay? And then eventually what I did, after I did this, okay, and by the way, obviously, for the scheduled consultation, what do you think you're going to do? You're going to open up the Insta report and you're going to just go over it with them. You're going to be like, oh, your website's screwed up. You got a B. I think we can make some changes there. Your SEO, you got an F. Looks like you need to do a little bit of work there if you want to show up for Bobby's Auto Repair. Okay? Your social media, well, shit, you ain't posted on social media since 2009. We got to get some posts on there for you, man. Come on. Community needs to grow. Right? So we got to do all of these things, and you're offering them, and you're doing the consultations, and you got the new leads coming in, and you're completing, and then all of a sudden, guess what? There's a little win category here, which is what's called in pipelines, it's called the win. Okay, it's a little button where you drag it over and you won, or it's another one in your pipeline that you just call win. Okay, it's your final column, and you start pushing people over to that win category. And that win category is when you start, that's when you start shaking. You're like, this shit is real. This shit is real. Your hands start shaking. You're like, oh, I just closed a client for the first time. And it's so exciting. And you have a whole seizure over it. And then you wake up and you're like, wow, I can do this again. And you just keep doing it again. And that's what I did. And I did that shit for years. So if you don't want to be lazy, this is the easiest way right now that you can go pick up clients. The easiest way to get up right now, get off your ass, go. Get in your car and go. Go print an Insta report. You don't have a printer, don't make excuses. Go to a local Office Depot, wherever the hell your country is that has something like Office Depot. I don't know what the name is. Just a local printing store, a library. Go to your neighbor's house, print this shit out, and walk into places. I promise you it's the fastest way to go out and pick up clients right now. You can do it right now. It's something that you can do right now. There's no excuses why you can't do this. Okay? You can even have a free Insta report account, which will let you run 3 reports. So you got 1 out of 3 chances. Or 1 report, right? 1 report. You got 1 chance to make it happen. Or you can not be cheap and just get your basic plan for $97 and just run with it. And hopefully close $500 or $1,000 client. Okay? So, and guys, I want to speak to you guys about that too. That's probably also something I should bring up. Like in business, you got to spend money to make money. So if you're going to think that like you're going to go sign up for like all these tools and you're going to use all the free versions and you're just going to cheap out on it, don't expect to have good results because you're using the bottom of the barrel of the tools. Okay? If you guys want to be successful and you want to automate things and you want to run faster, right? Guess what? Pipedrive's $12 a month account or $20 a month account. You can do automations and shit in here. Okay? Or getting a 97 package, basic package for Insta reports, you can run 50 Insta reports per month. Okay? So think about that when you're going through this. Don't try to try to squeeze everything. Invest a little bit in yourself and in your business because I promise you it's going to turn into a pipeline like this. And you're probably like, Chad, this looks like shit. Well, that's because I drew it out. But it's going to look good once it's in your Pipedrive account. That's number 1. That's walk-ins. Guys, everybody good with walk-ins? 497 in the chat right now. 497 in the chat right now. Bang, bang, bang. Bang, bang, bang. 497 in the chat. All right, good. A lot of you guys. Great. That's great. A lot of you guys are putting $4.97 here. It's too much of you guys. Just stop it. Okay. Here we go. Phenomenal. So we talked about the whole, well, let me go back to this. We talked about the whole pipeline approach. Now guess what, guys? Okay, if you're running it, let me draw a new one of these real quick. Okay, so it's cleaned up. If you're running a whole pipeline, all right, you're running a pipeline. Cool, you got your pipeline. Awesome, and you got your stages in your pipeline, great. And it's your top stage, right? And this is number one. This is your new lead. Cool, right? So guess what, guys? One route that we just talked about was walk-ins. Okay, that's one. All these are routes to get people inside of your pipeline. Cold calling. And make sure you do this with a pipeline, okay, or you're gonna lose your mind. It's gonna be crazy to keep control of all this stuff. Call center. Oh, guys, all you're doing is you're taking these tactics and you're getting people into column number one, and then you're slowly moving them over. That's all you're doing here, guys. This is business. This is how business works. As complicated as it sounds, this is exactly what it is, especially in the service game, okay? So don't focus on all of this shit with like the automations and the Zapiers, and I gotta make sure there's 19 Zapiers triggering, and they all have to have 66-second delays, or they're not gonna trigger properly, and then the automations are gonna fail. I'm like, dude, what are you automating? There's nothing in your pipeline. You're wasting time. Like, for real, like I can't stand that shit, and I gotta be real with you guys. Stop doing this. Just focus on this. Number one, that's all you gotta do. Go out and do walk-ins, put in your pipeline. You want to cold call, put them in your pipeline. You want to build a call center, great. Get people in your pipeline, start moving people down the ladder. That's all you have to do, man. All that Zapier shit and automation, you can do all that shit after. You can do all that shit after. You guys on the same page here? $7.97 in the chat. I know there's a lot of you guys, not all at once, okay? $7.97 in the chat. Yeah, a lot of you guys. $7.97. $7.97. Whoa, there's too many of you guys. All right, good. So we talked about walk-ins. We can check that off. We're done with that. That's amazing. Now we're going to talk about a little bit of cold calling. Okay. Now cold calling, we're going to do a couple more lessons on this later on. But I want to touch on the difference between cold calling and call center. Okay. So for cold calling, really all cold calling is you just picking up the phone and you're doing the same thing as you're doing as a walk-in, but the shitty part is you don't have this in your hand, which is like the beautiful, cool stuff. Okay? And by the way, guys, I don't know if I mentioned this before, but I'm going to give you guys a copy of this, okay? So it'll be inside the membership area. You can download it and then go to Fiverr for 68 cents and have somebody replicate it for you, okay? That's all you got to do. Cold calling. Hit the GoPro. I got everybody laughing in here. What are you guys laughing at? What's so funny?
68 cent.
The 68 cent. Can you guys wave to the camera? Everybody turn around. Wave to the camera. Carlos, put your hand up. Don't be that guy. Carlos is here, being awkward in the back. All right, let's go front face real quick. I hope you guys don't think I'm in here just randomly doing the shit alone, because that would get awkward real quick. Got to have a little bit of an audience, okay? Somebody's got to laugh at my jokes. All right, so cold calling is really, it's the same exact thing as walk-ins. You're just doing it over the phone, right? So instead of saying, hey, can I get a business card? This is how a cold call is going to go. You ready? Hey, Bobby. This is Chad calling from Social Agency. Let me get this out. This is Chad calling from Social Agency. I'm actually right down the street from you. I'm in Fort Lauderdale, and we're running a complimentary report for everybody in the area, and I wanted to see if you were interested. It's 100% free. It's a 20-page report. Now, guys, during this, hold on, Bobby, 1 second. Now, during this, okay, you have to now paint the picture of what the report looks like, because you don't have it with you, right? So you gotta say, okay, Bobby, I'm back. Okay, so you gotta say, Bobby, now I have a 20-page report that's gonna go over every single layer of your marketing. It's gonna go over your website, your SEO, your pay-per-click campaigns, your listings, your reviews, your social media. It's gonna even show you where your grandmother was born at the time that she was born, and we're going to run a report on that too to get the metrics, right? You got to throw in a little jokes because Bobby's never met you before, right? Bobby, you've never met me, right? So what you do is you do that, and then guess what? You say, hey, Bobby, I got all your information because I'm on your website, right? And what's on the website? It's the website, the phone number, the address, the email. All this shit is general stuff that's on every single website, right? And you just get, hey, Bobby, okay, what's your first and last name? Great. This is a good email for you, right? Awesome. Great. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to send this report to you. And within the next couple of minutes, you're going to get an email. And I'm also going to fire off an SMS message for you. So you're going to get it right to your phone because you can look at it. If you might be plumbing and you're doing something in the toilet, you can literally open it up on your phone and look at this report right now because there's some crucial stuff that I found in here. Okay? Or you can go at it another way. You can call and you can say, hey, Bobby, I actually already ran a report for you. I took the time to go out and run a 20-page complimentary report. I just want to send it to you. What's a good email address to send it to? See what I did there? So now you're going 2 different routes, okay? And we used to do that shit. We split tested that a lot in our call center, okay? But guys, the cold calling is the same thing. Like I said, you're just 10xing here. All you're doing is adding more team, okay? You can literally do it here too. This is just like door-to-door sales. So you can 10x this too. I actually hired an employee to actually go out and do all the walk-ins. And then what I would do is he would go out, he would do the walk-ins, and he would fill up the pipeline. And my job was just to go out and bring people and move them over in the pipeline. That was my job. That's what I did every single day for a couple of years. That's all I did. Walk-ins, bang. Then I started doing cold calling. And while he was doing it on my off time, I was cold calling. He was filling up the pipeline with walk-ins. I was cold calling and filling up the pipeline again on my off time when I didn't have scheduled calls and follow-ups and all that shit, okay? And then eventually I hired a call center. And I built the whole call center here in Fort Lauderdale. Hit the GoPro real quick. I built one here in this room. This used to be our call center. We don't do it anymore because we get incoming leads like crazy. I built that. Let's go P&P. Let's go front face. I built that. Then I went to the Philippines, and I built a call center in the Philippines. And then I flew to Mexico, and then I built a call center in Tijuana, Mexico. Okay, so I had 3 call centers running all at the same time. And all they were doing is doing the same shit, but they were filling up the pipeline, but instead of putting like a couple leads in, I'm talking about like this shit was. Like there was like a never-ending stream of information, okay? Because the fronters out in the Philippines and in Tijuana, Mexico, they were the ones who were doing the prospecting and getting the leads in. And then I had my sales team take away my job, and they were the ones pushing shit over. You see what I did here? You see how you supplement that? Okay, you start doing it first. You perfect it. Then you step out of that and you let somebody else do it. And you do the same thing again. And then that person, everybody keeps moving up. Okay, that's how business works. Okay, so you just keep moving up the pipeline. You keep moving it up. You guys all on the same page? 976 in the chat if you're on the same page. 976. Yeah. Oh yeah. A lot of you guys, 976. Wow. You guys are blowing me away today. This is crazy. 976. Doesn't stop. 976. Yeah. 976. I agree. It's crazy. So, though you might think this whole thing is rocket science, it's really not. All it is, if you think about it, is you walking in with a freaking booklet that you printed at your neighbor's house and you traded them for sugar and you used their printer. Okay? Cost you nothing. It cost you a tablespoon of sugar. And now you got a whole pamphlet. Tablespoon of sugar and 68 cents on fiber to replicate the booklet. Done. Okay? Cold calling. Time. Your time. That's all it is. It's just, there's nothing else to do. It's just your time. Okay? Call center. You don't touch that shit until you perfect the first 2. I forbid you to open a call center and be that lazy person. I forbid you. And if you do it, I'm not going to be friends with you anymore. We can't talk. Okay? I forbid you from touching this until you become an OG at the walk-ins and cold calling. You do that first, okay? So, guys, hopefully this helped you guys out. This is literally the exact strategy that I've taken to grow my business, to grow my agency. I didn't do anything special, okay? I didn't build a 97-step Zapier, okay? All I did was fill up my pipeline. okay? Now guys, in a couple of the next episodes, we're gonna talk about filling different ways that you can fill up your pipeline with doing some automation and stuff like that to get like LinkedIn automation maybe, and Instagram automation, and Angel's gonna cover a lot of cool stuff too. So other ways that you can fill up your pipeline, but then we're also gonna talk about how to actually go through your pipeline, right? Now once you have the leads in, that's cool. You just have a big ass pipeline with a bunch of leads. How do I actually turn that into revenue, right? Well, that's going through and doing the consultations, closing the deals, and then servicing your clients, right? So this whole agency thing is in stages, okay? It's prospecting, sales, and fulfillment, and then obviously servicing your clients after that. So guys, hopefully this helped you out. This has been a whiteboard strategy with myself, Chad Kodary, CEO of DashClicks. I look forward to seeing you guys on the next episode. Over and out.